Today we are going to learn how to graph a quadratic. Feel free to use your Calculator X84 app to follow along, but I'm going to provide all the tables that you would need just because I know some people can't download that app. So here's what we're going to be doing today. You're going to be given an equation. You're going to see the table for that equation with all the points to plot. And then you're going to one by one plot the points that you can fit on the graph. And you'll see a U-shaped graph either facing the right way or upside down. And you'll be asked to state the equation of the axis of symmetry and the coordinates of the vertex for some examples. So let's look at our first one. On the set of axes below, that's these things, draw the graph of x squared minus 4x minus 1. If you had your graphing calculator, you would hit the y equals button. You would hit second graph to get the table, and then you'd start plotting points. The first point that I see is -2, 11. Now I went to this part of the table because I want to see the repeating values so I can get that U shape. The first point on this table won't actually fit on my graph because I know it's tiny, but this only goes up to 10. So I'm actually going to skip that point and plot the next one. -1, 4. I go to the left 1, and then I'm going to go up 4. There's my first point. 0, -1. 0 is here. I go down for -1 right there. You can put little check marks or something if you have a table drawn. Then I have +1, -4. That's right there. 2, -5. And then I'm going to have my repeating values. So my graph is going to take a turn. Every point is going to be on the same level as the point on the other side. So that makes graphing a lot easier. I just need to make sure that I'm going over to the right by 1. Once you have your points plotted, the ones that you can fit, can't fit that one, you are going to do your very best to connect these points. So start from your point all the way on the left. Oop, came out bad. Go down as smooth as possible. Make sure you get a curve. And if they don't tell you where to start or stop your graph, make sure you put arrows to show that this goes on forever and ever. You're going to want to take note that there is a vertex here and that there is symmetry on both sides. If your graph looks like that, that's not really symmetric. So let's answer some questions about this graph just to make it a little clearer. My graph looks like that. Sure, it's a little curve there. State the equation of the axis of symmetry. Symmetry means the middle. And I want to draw a line. I'm just going to do a dotted line. It's a little easier to draw. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. It's my x-axis. So because the axis of symmetry went through the x value of 2, that would be the equation for it. State the coordinates of the vertex. Coordinates look like this, an x value, comma, a y value. The vertex is the top or bottom point. In this case, we have a bottom point. To get the coordinates of the vertex, it's easy to get the x value because it's the same one for my axis of symmetry. So that'll be 2, comma, and then the y value, I just go to the y-axis, which is this guy right there. If this is 0 and I'm going down, it's -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So 2, comma, -5 would be the coordinates of my vertex. Let's do another one. Graph the function -x squared minus 6x on the set of axes below. I want to make sure that I have my repeats in the middle of the table. Am I able to fit this point on the graph, -8, -16? No. Again, my graph only goes up to 10 on both axes. So I skip that point and I go ahead and plot my first point, which is -7, -7, which is right there. -6, 0, -5, 5, and -4, 8, all the way up there, -3, 9, and then I have a turn here. I have the repeats, and each point's going to be on the same level, just over by 1. Makes things a little bit easier. And I'm going to connect my points best that I can. Don't have to be a perfect artist. And put the arrows, and your graph should look like that. Can't fit that point either, so I just plotted all of these. Okay, so this was my graph. I'm going to make this a little bit clearer. So let's see if you can do this one on your own. State the equation of the axis of symmetry. It starts with x equals. So to do that, I'm going to draw my axis of symmetry down to the x-axis. This is 0. I'm going to count. So it's -1, -2, -3. X equals -3. State the coordinates, which again looks like x, y, of the vertex. So my vertex is right here. I already know my x value. It's the same one from the axis of symmetry. And to get my y value, I go to the y-axis and I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You might have noticed it was already faintly there for you. Okay, so now I'm going to assign you a student paced pear deck. That means you're going to be able to do some drawing on the screen. You can use your iPhone or Android or computer, whatever you have, and you're going to be able to graph. So I'm going to show you how to do the first one. So you'll have a nice sample there. So you might have a slide that looks like this. It's going to ask you to graph the quadratic, state the vertex, and the equation of the axis of symmetry. So I already gave you the table. You're going to decide which points you can actually plot. This one wants you to go all the way up to 11, but my graph only goes up to 7, so I'm not going to do that. The first point I'm going to plot is 1, 6. So 1, 6 is right there. Then 2, 3. Then 3, 2. Then I have my turn because of my repeats. 4, 3, 5, 6. I only need 5 points to get a nice parabola. I connect the points best that I can with my arrows there. And what would be the coordinates of this vertex? So your vertex is right in the middle here. You can tell by the repeats, just pick the numbers in the middle. Or you can read down to the x-axis, 3 and 2. That's your x and your y. And what would be the equation of the axis of symmetry? This is super easy once you have the vertex. It's just the x value that's in the middle. We already got that to be 3 from there and also from there. So you're going to run through the rest of these on your own, and I'll be here if you have any questions.